Here are some ideas that'll add some variety to your writing. Verbals. Now you might say, oh no, here comes some more geeky grammar rules. Wait, before I lose my audience here, this will help you in 3 different ways at once. 1, you yourself will have better comprehension if you understand how some of these variations work within the sentence structure, which means you're going to be able to read books and literature that's more sophisticated. It will also help you with reading comprehension on those dreaded ACTs and SAT tests and all the other achievement tests that you take along the way that have a reading comprehension with it, which of course includes the science and the social studies sections of some of those tests too, because you have to read an article and then answer questions about it. So knowing some of these variations is bound to pay off. Secondly, the grammar part on especially your achievement tests and the ACT and the SAT college prep tests, those have a grammar section on them. So by knowing a few certain rules that are fairly standard and usable, you're going to be able to get some easy points. Thirdly, this is bound to transfer to your own writing, especially if you take notes on what I'm saying here or put these into a special notebook and then put that notebook in front of you when you're actually doing your essays or paragraphs. You can use some of the techniques without having to go back and look at the videos. Of course, that's always available to you. But if you note it and use it, you're going to own it. So let me start to tell you about verbals. Verbals come in a couple of different flavors. When we're using verbals, we're going to be looking for the certain words inside the sentence, but they're categorized as to their form, which would be infinitive, gerund, and participles, and their function. So the first form that we're going to talk about is the infinitive. The infinitive form of the verb starts with to. It's to play, to sing, to dance. And if that would put us in the active voice because you actually can do some of these activities. And the state of being verb, to be. That is called the infinitive form of the verb. And when it's in the sentence as an infinitive, it doesn't count as the main verb of the sentence. Remember that all sentences and clauses have to have a subject and a verb component. So when you're looking for the verb in the sentence and you come up with a to play or a to sing or to read, that can't be the main verb. That's the infinitive form that functions as a noun or a modifier. When we talk about modifiers, we're really talking about words like adjectives and adverbs or complements. Those are all functions of the different parts of speech. Infinitive form begins with to. This is sometimes confused with the preposition to, as in to the store, but that is showing a position or a place that you're going to be going to the store. Or this time, the infinitive form has a verb after the to, right? Not a noun, which is a prepositional phrase, has to begin with the preposition and end with a noun. So the infinitive form, you'll be able to recognize, has a verb attached to the to. Gerunds are verb parts, words that you would normally think of as being verbs, like play, but it has an ing form. It's the ing form of it, the ing. But playing is not a verb in this sense. A gerund is a verbal with an ing on it that functions as a noun. So your functions of nouns are subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, and the object of a preposition. That would be the object of a preposition. Okay, participles are the verb form with either a present participle or a past participle. Present participle would be the verb itself. Let's take our play again. And we would add an ing to the end of it. Uh-oh, you say, we just did an ing and called it a gerund. Well, this is an ing, but it doesn't function as a noun like the gerunds do. This functions as a modifier, most probably an adjective. So you could have an example, could be like pounding. Here's the ing form on this verb. Pounding surf. Examining room. Here's dining room, because that's the room that you dine in. Dine would be a verb. Dining expresses what kind of room it is. It modifies. It's an adjective describing the room. Different from the functions of a noun. The past participle ends with an ed or a d. Sometimes it has t's, but those are for irregular verbs, and I'm teaching you what's most often. So let's just dwell on the ed and d's at the ends of the words. So this would be played. That's what we would have on there. Played or danced. The past participle, still being a participle, is a modifier, most likely an adjective. So here we would have like baked apples, because bake is a verb, but if you put the D on it, baked, and then express it as apples, you're really describing the apples. It's an adjective. Damaged items. How about surprised expression? In each of these, we have the ed ending on it. This one, surprise, ends in an e, so just the d part is put on. Same thing here with damaged. Baked is the same thing. I chose three examples that just have the d on it. But if the root word does not end in an e, then you're going to be putting on an ed, like played. And in the present participle, we had pounding, examining, dining. Now let's see some examples in some sentences.